This is the Run Recap. Did you do a bike race and a normal race recently, or just a bike race?
Just a bike race.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Just
24-hour race that you got roped into last minute.
not roped into. No, like I no, I
Oh,
I love this stuff. So I was
oh,
excited.
you're planning on it. This is intentional.
I was well, so yeah, so Tara, a good friend of mine, ski instructor up on the mountain, she's at Run Club and was talking about it. She's like, I got a team going to this. And I was like, she's like, would you want in? I'm like, and this is like months ago. It's like, yeah, I do, but I don't have a
Yeah,
bike, and I don't think I'm gonna spend money on races really this year outside of like just a
yeah,
couple, like it.
yeah.
And so like no, just I don't know that I'm gonna do that. I don't, but yes, actually, I do really want to do it because it's super fun. And anyway, so it came down to like 10 days before, and she's like, we had a couple people drop out. We're now on our 10-person team, we now only have like 6 people, which means we're gonna have to ride
No.
way more than we were all planning for. None of like, and you can do this with like, you can do a 4-person team, you can do but
Mhm.
even some people do it solo. It's just how many laps can you get in 24 hours, right? So you got
Wow.
guys doing tons of things, so it's all the different levels, but you train for what you're ready to do. And if you have a 10-person
Of
team,
course.
every person's probably going to do 2 laps basically, unless you're really fast. So 2 laps, and it's yeah, it's about 14, 15 mile loop,
Hmm.
and pretty not terribly difficult mountain biking as far as technical goes. There are some, like, there's a little bit of technical downs. Some of the ups, I mean, you got to know what you're doing, or else you're going to have to jump off
Yeah.
and walk. If your tire slips a little bit, you're going to have to now run up this hill instead. So there's some things like that that
Right.
are kind of hard, but most of it is just kind of rolling hills and stuff. And there's some good hills in it, but most of it is not that big a deal. Anyway, so it's not a killer 15 miles. It's also not an easy 15 miles.
Yeah.
And so I'd done this race 6 years before, and just had tons of fun. And it like dumped rain in the middle of the night. So I had like I think I ran it like at midnight, 1 in the morning, something like that, in a complete torrential downpour. When I came up to hills, I just jumped off and started running instead. Like, I'm not even gonna try. I can see a
Yeah.
river running down this hill that's hard for me to
Right.
climb when it's perfect and dry, but it's dark and it's dumping rain. I'm not even gonna try. No, I'm just gonna run up this thing. That doesn't make any sense to even try and
Yeah.
ride. Anyway, did that, got back to my tent, of course, and as these 24 races always go, it's like you just get back to your tent and figure out how to sleep and all this, and I'm just drenched.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's always kind of the fun of, there's a range where it's fun, and then you get a
Hmm.
little bit outside of, like, pushing that limit is really fun. When you go
Yeah.
past that limit, it's no longer fun. And that's the way these things always go. Like my Rainier race last year, it's like, oh, I just took on more. I didn't really think through how much elevation I'd really be doing. I didn't think through how rough this weather was
Yeah.
going to be. And I just went past that, and it's like, now it's just torture. It's no longer pushing the
Right.
limit. It's fun. Now we went past the limit. Now I'm just trying to figure out, how do I just keep doing this? And this isn't, why did I do this at all? Anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so my memory of the last one was just that, like, it hit that limit, but it stayed there, and it did maybe bump it a
Good.
little bit. It was just fun. And so this race, weather's looking great. Like, this is looking awesome. And I call up Jason. He's got his bike ready for me to borrow because my bike's shot. And so I'm like, oh, cool. I even got a bike to borrow. And Tara's like, we just need someone to take over some laps. So I went into, and I've been running a bunch, like, had a great Bloomsday. I've been lifting a ton. I'm in excellent all around shape, way better than I was last time
Yeah.
I did this. So like, okay, cool. So I went out and I let him know, like, hey, I'm here just to support you guys. So any laps you don't want,
Hmm.
I'll just take. So let me know what you don't want.
Yeah.
I'll jump in, no problem, right?
Yeah.
And I was feeling great. I didn't think, I haven't even sat on a bike seat in probably 2 years, like, at all. But again, like, overall, I'm in good shape. It's gonna be fine. But I knew, like, okay, my butt's
Yeah.
gonna be sore because that's just.
Of course.
But
Of
I brought,
course.
but I brought padded shorts and everything, so I'm like ready for this in case it's a problem. Anyway, but thinking, it'll be fine. Again, I'm like, just
Yeah.
my fitness can overcome it. And so I got my first lap basically as the sun was setting, and it was a beautiful
Nice.
lap to do, and it worked out really good.
Yeah.
But I needed my light by the end of it. But I rode it and I ran, and I knew my downhills, my technical downhills, because I haven't ridden a bike in a while, was I need to take it easy. Like, I can't just let the bike go and handle some of the stuff like I used to be able to. But I was ready for that, no problem. And I know the course. I've ridden these trails tons. And so I go out and I hit 5 Minute Hill, is one of the first hard hills. I just destroy people up. Like, I pass like 5 people up
Nice.
this thing, no problem. Because again, my fitness is there. It's no
Yeah.
problem, right? Do that. I take
Yeah.
a long way around it down, but I still end up finishing the whole thing. think it was an hour and 20 minutes or something like that, which wasn't the fastest on my team, but I was off by like 2 minutes, you know.
Okay, so you're right there.
Yeah, still a quick lap. I put it down pretty hard and finished. And I'm like, I feel good. I'm feeling, you know, and like, my legs are a little, you know, I think next one, I'm not going to push so hard because my next one now is looking, it's going to be around 3 in the morning. Like, okay. And they're kind of
Yeah,
close together, which is kind of like the way my Rainier happened because I just took overlaps instead of staggering it out. They're not as far away from each other as I would like. Yeah, because I ended up
yeah,
getting back. Yeah, my first lap. I got back, it was solidly dark, but it was fine. And then I just stayed awake from that till my next one because I didn't really want to fall all the way asleep and then be groggy, so I just stayed awake,
right.
but hung out my tent, relaxed, whatever. And our night laps were just getting longer and longer. Like some people were taking like
Yeah.
2 hours plus getting through this thing,
Ooh.
but the weather's still perfect. Like there's no
And
rain
this is
or
all the
anything.
same lap, right?
Yeah,
So
you just do
the
it every
laps
time. Just
aren't
do the lap
changing.
again.
It's
Do the
just
lap
okay.
again. Yeah, exactly. And
Does the lap get worn down? Like, does the trail just get
it
rough?
deteriorates, yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah. So then all of a sudden,
man.
like as you're coming down a hill into a corner, you just know that like, okay, you got to take a little bit more easy. You're not going to grip through this corner anymore, so you got to slow it down.
Right.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
And then the uphills get more slippery too, because you know
Hmm.
everyone's kind of moving to the more solid part of the trail on your uphills, but then those deteriorate, and pretty soon now there's no
Right.
good solid.
Right.
But it's not a big deal. But I'm sure people that are racing it hard, you know, like we
Yeah.
weren't trying to win. We didn't have no one on this team was, you know, even competitive with the really fast guys at all. So we had some good
Right.
riders, but the guys that were winning were really, really, really good. And so, I mean, they were beating us by like 35 minutes, you know, like
Yeah.
each, like they were going under an hour and I was an hour 20 and I was still doing,
Yeah.
and I was moving pretty good. So anyway, um, so I get done with that one. I just let everyone know, like, oh, that was, you know, I'm feeling that one, and I'm feeling my seat after that. Like that's my
Yeah.
next one's gonna be a little harder. Next one I'm just gonna take it easy. I put in a good time. That's what I want to do. Next one,
Yeah.
I'll just get my lap in, you know. And so my next lap, I get ready to go, and it's at 3 a.m. I think, might be 3:30, somewhere right in there. But you know, solidly dark, and it's cold, so you know I'm dressed a little more to wear all that. And anyway, so I take off and man, I am dragging like right off the bat. Like this is actually really hard. Like the first
Yeah.
couple of hills even were hard. The bumps, and
No.
I'm like, I'm 2 miles in is all, and of 15 miles, 2 miles in, and the bumps are just hitting hard. You know, my seat is just jamming
Yeah.
into me, and I'm sitting on my seat way harder than I usually would because my legs are tired and everything just feels really
Yeah.
tough. So I'm sitting like with all my weight on my seat, which means every bump is just jamming right up into my butt. You know, it's just hurting so bad. And so anyway, I get to 5 Minute Hill, which again, usually I can blast up this thing. I've run it tons even, like I'm good at this. And I go and I
Yeah.
get near the top. I'm like, I don't have this in me at all. Like it's just not there. And this is only my second.
Yeah.
I was going to plan on doing 3 laps actually to help cover stuff. And this is only my second
Yeah. Yeah.
lap. And I'm like, and now I think 5 Minute Hill was like 3 miles in, so I'm not even that far in, and I had to walk up it. I got to the top and just got off my bike and like drank some water and you know, and like just hung out for a little bit. Like okay, this is really fatigued for not having gone very far. And so okay, get on your bike,
Yeah.
get moving again. The next part, some single track, felt pretty good, and then we get to like the technical uphills, and I went to ride a second. I'm like, no, geez, this is just worthless. I jump off again and just
Yeah.
hike up them. I get to the top of that, and we're starting to see just a little bit of light because the days are real long right now. So you can see the
Yeah.
sun's
Yeah.
kind of coming up. So I stopped, pulled over, like took a picture of the sunrise for a little bit, took a drink again because I'm like, I just need to rest more. I just don't have it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
kept going and going and going. And finally I get to like mile 10, somewhere in there. I'm like, something feels off. Something's wrong. Like, there is no way this is this hard. I have stopped and got off my bike and hung out for a while. You know,
Yeah.
now at this point, so many times I've been out here for now an hour, 45 minutes plus like that.
Okay.
Like, this is ridiculous.
And
And
this
like,
is your second lap, right?
yeah, second lap.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and the sun's now up, you know, not like up, but
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you can see
Yeah.
fine
Yeah.
everything, and people
Yeah.
are passing me just fine. And I'm just like, I hear someone coming, I just get off my bike and just welcome to like, I can get off my bike for a second because it just hurts so bad. And like, but
Rest,
something's
thank
off,
God.
and I'm riding a little more. I'm like, something sounds wrong. Something's wrong
Yeah.
on my bike. Like,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
So I get off, I feel my back tire, and because it had gotten colder, my back tire had lost like half its air pressure.
No.
And I think it'd been that way the whole time, given how hard everything was to ride. So it wasn't a flat tire. You would have known a flat tire. And I should have been able, if I had been riding more, I
Right.
probably would have felt a low tire too. And I
Of
should have
course,
checked
yeah.
them. When you ride mountain bikes, it's normal that you go and fill your tire every time you go for a ride. And so I had checked it before my first lap, but then not thinking my second lap is like going to ride again, like enough
Right.
time had passed, temperatures changed, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's no wonder this is so incredibly hard.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
finally,
That makes complete sense
yeah,
now.
and again, wow, like nothing's cushioning anything, and I'm sitting so hard, and everything's just like the seat is killing me. Like I can't sit on this seat like I walked for a walk. Pretty soon, like okay, well I have to stay off the bike, so I'm just gonna keep walking instead of just standing here. So at least I'm getting closer to the
Yeah.
finish line. Anyway, finally got through. It took me over 2 hours, and
Wow.
and it was yeah, just brutal. And I had to let everyone know, like, hey, after that, I'm shot.
Yeah.
I can't do a
You're
third one.
done.
So I'm sorry, everybody,
Oh
but like,
no.
I can't take. We have
Well,
to find somebody else. I literally can't do it now.
you did too, you know?
Did
That's
too.
pretty good.
But at least thank God that it was like a bit of a bike. Probably started to wonder, like, is there something wrong with me? Like my
Well,
endurance has been good, and like I didn't sleep, but still, like I didn't even go out hard. I went out casual. I should be able to do this.
but at the same time, like, I mean, we both know you change disciplines and your body just isn't used to the little things that discipline
Yeah.
involves, right?
Yeah,
So like going on a bike, no matter how good of running shape you're in, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be harder,
for sure.
right? And
Yep.
so you're just like, man, this was. I would be thinking if I were in your position, like I thought like I'm in good enough shape, but the bike, I'm just not in shape for a bike ride. It's like when I go skate, like I'm not in shape and skating shape right now.
Right.
Like you take a couple laps, you're like, man, I'm exhausted just because I'm not used to the little nuance pumping
Yeah.
constantly. Even though, like, yeah, I can go run great, but I'm just not in that kind of shape. But I would be thinking that the whole time.
Well,
But
and I
like,
was
oh,
feeling
man,
like
the bike
instantly
just got me.
I had like bad achiness in my knees and stuff on my
Yeah,
first lap even. It was like, oh, crazy, because I know my knees are strong. I know everything's good, but like they're not used
yeah,
to doing this motion over and over and over
yeah.
again at all. And like, anyway, so I let them know like, hey, I'm in for another, next time or something like that, but I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna
Hmm.
say no if I haven't actually like ridden a bike before. Like that's gonna be very necessary to make sure I ride a bike.
So remind me, we've talked about this before, but what's wrong with your bike? Why don't you? What has to be fixed?
Oh, it can't be fixed anymore. So my bike's
It's
from
just done.
2001, and they don't make shocks like that. So they took apart the shocks in order just to clean them and get them ready and everything. And when they did, the inner
Yeah,
parts just fell apart. And then they couldn't get parts
gotcha.
for that, and then they don't even make them to fit into my frame anymore, so I can't get new ones. So I'd have to find 25-year-old shocks, that were in good shape, and so that doesn't really exist. And then I noticed that I have some cracks in my frame even and all that. So it's like, no, it's really just done.
It's just broken.
Yeah, and most mountain bikers don't ride a bike over like 5 years old, and mine's 25 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, so it's just not. I liked the bike a lot. It was, it
Yeah,
was top of the line bike 25 years ago,
yeah. That's awesome. I'm remembering now. First of all, let's take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsor, the Normatec compression sleeves by Hyperice.
which are awesome.
Unofficial. They are great. You got to use them after Bloomsday.
I
I brought them
did.
over.
They squish your legs all in the right ways.
They're good leg squishers.
Yeah. If
They
you ever
do
were
they do a great
wondering
job.
about, like, I've heard of these from other people. I'd never tried it before, but it's really, really good. That was an incredible
It
thing.
feels great.
After a
I
hard
actually do
run,
like
it
them a
felt
lot.
so good. Yeah, it was excellent. My legs just felt like just wonderful. I'd say better than a massage. Like it was just
In a lot of ways,
yeah.
absolutely.
Well, it's
Yeah,
kind of doing a
I
different
like
thing
them a lot.
too. It's not really working. It's more like moving blood. Am I understanding that correct?
Yeah,
And so
yeah. That's the way I feel. Is that
yeah,
yeah? It's like forcing the circulation of your blood to different areas throughout your body.
right. It's doing a different thing, and that was
Yeah.
a post a hard run. That was really really good.
No, what I was thinking of is I saw a picture or something. Did you come over and do the Sound to Narrows with Ben?
No, no, I reposted a thing for doing
Oh,
that 7 years ago.
7 years
Yeah,
ago. Oh, Mike, you came over for a race? Mike, I didn't think you were doing any
right.
more races
And not even
recently.
text you that I was doing it
Yeah,
or anything.
I know, Mike. I would have jumped on that. I mean, I wouldn't have, but I would have thought about it.
It's a fun race. And no, that
I've
was what,
heard, yeah.
yeah, Ben got, because I was not racing at all. Like just doing my
Hmm.
running thing. And yeah, so Ben, that was the race where Ben came over here early spring and he's like, you could do this race. I was like, oh, it's far enough out. I could train for that and do that. And it was still like 3, 4 months out. And, and of course, if I'm going to
Yeah,
do it, I want to be able to do it at least under an hour. And so
yeah.
no, that wasn't enough time to do that. And then I completely forgot about it. And then he reminded me like with a few weeks left and I trained real hard for a few weeks as is the way I do things. And then I was not in good enough shape to run it under an hour, but we sprinted the downhills, and this thing is just up, down, up, down. So
Yeah,
as fast as you could go down the hills, just full on actual
yeah,
sprinting down the hills. And then I rested all the uphills. So sprint the
yeah.
downs, rest the ups, and there isn't much flat in this course. It's just up or down.
Okay,
So I just did that, and I did break an hour by a couple seconds.
nice.
So still got my goal, but definitely like that strategy was kind of cheating the system. I was not in good
Yeah.
enough shape to actually do that speed at all.
Well, you made it work.
I was so obnoxious with how fast I was passing everyone on the downs and then how fast everyone was passing me back on all the ups. It was really funny. A little bit
I
embarrassing,
had
but
a
I'm past embarrassment with running most of the time.
man, of course. I had a
Right.
similar experience last week. I was doing I my legs and ankles were feeling a little tired and sore, and I wanted to do some fast work, but like I'm just at work, so I was running just on a trail, and so I did like a half mile to my stair set, just a couple stair sets. This is Tuesday before my all comers meet, so it's 2 days ago, and then coming back, like I want some speed work, but I don't want to I don't want distance speed work. I want to sprint. I want to get my legs to go
Mm-hmm.
really really fast, and so I had that kind of experience. Like I was doing like a slow progression to a sprint,
Mm-hmm.
taking like uh, maybe like 300 meters in total of like just slow build up, hit a 80%, 85% top speed, and then I would just like walk and
Mm-hmm.
rest for a little bit. But so there was this one guy towards the end of it that was like, he was just running past me, and I'm like walking slow, and like next thing he knew, I'm sprinting past him, and then he's like walking. I'm walking, he's passing me again. I was like, guys, I probably seem like such a dick right now.
Right.
What's this dude doing? He's running as fast as possible and stopping.
We feel like that, but also if we saw someone doing that, you would be like, "Oh, sprint intervals." That's like
Right.
he's a runner.
But
He probably
especially,
knows, but it also feels really because you don't see people doing that outside at all. Even doing
well,
fartleks, you don't
on
see that happen
the
outside.
on the trails, right? Like I see people running around the lake here that like are running fast,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also, I can tell you're a 15-minute 5K fast runner. Like you're just running fast because you can run fast. Like you're
Yeah.
not you're not doing this dumb thing of like sprinting and stopping and sprinting and stopping.
Oh, yeah, especially with the
It
full
feels
stop. Yeah, you really don't see
it
someone
feels
actually do that
dumb.
outside of a track at all, or adults
Not
even for that matter, right? You see that high school track workouts.
yeah.
That you don't see it past that. But so good. But so you did. I didn't know. You just sent me a thing saying you ran a 200. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So you actually got to do an all comers meet.
Did. So I went to the all comers meet yesterday, last night, and with the intention of I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do the 100, just get my 100 times, see where it's at. The all comers meet just started last week, and so they'll go until like I think the end of August. So I'm like, if I get one early season, and then I'll do one at least at the end of season, if not maybe middle season also.
Hmm.
Just kind of see what progress I can make. Man, leading up to, I was nervous. I was like surprisingly
Oh,
nervous
that's
for it.
fun.
The first like Bloomsday, I was the first Bloomsday last year. I was nervous a little bit just because I don't know. It was an unexpected unknown. It's an
Hmm.
unknown thing. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Whatever. It's like there's a little bit of butterflies, but like this one, I'm like I don't know. I was like really nervous. I think I had some like expectation build up in my head or something. And like I don't know. Just I don't know how this one works. I haven't done an Alchemist meet since like 2007 or something. And so I'm like, well, let's see. Don't know what to expect, where to go, new environments. And so I get all figured out, and I read the weeks wrong. And the the 100 and the 200 are like really, I mean, they're very popular races,
Sure.
right? And so they alternate weeks, of which they do, and a couple other events, but those are kind of the big ones. And I read the site wrong, and it alternates like every even week and every odd week it switches. I was thinking date, not not successive weeks, not like
Sure.
first week, second week, third week. I was thinking like, oh, it's the 11th. That's an odd number.
Yeah.
In fact, it was second week, so it's an even.
Okay.
So I show up and I'm like looking through. I'm like, oh, I don't see this. I was a little confused for a while. I'm like, well, I'm here. I'll do the 200 and send some. Why not? I'm not gonna do the 400. That's ridiculous. Which I
Right.
saw a kid that I used to train there, and afterwards he was getting there when I was leaving. He's like, are you gonna do the 400? He's like, you're a 400 guy, right? I'm like, no, I'm not doing the 400. He's like, come on. It's like, come on, it'll be great. I'm like, "No, not doing the
As
400.
400s always are, it would be hell, and you'd probably do well.
If I had only done the 100,
Yeah.
he might have been able to talk me into it.
Yeah.
But at that moment, no. So I go down the track and I'm like an hour early. And I go to the pole vault pit because that's what I'm used to being.
Hmm.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to warm up, kind of, but like I'm warming up too long. I just want to stay warm, but I don't want to just sit and do nothing. So I end up warming up
Hmm.
for like 45 minutes, and it was too much. It was way too long because they start the heats at 7:30, and but I'm not going to actually go until like 7:45 probably, where my heat is, and man, I'm watching all these kids warming up, and they all look so fast. Like
Yeah.
all like high school kids and college kids, a couple older guys, a couple guys in their like 50s, 60s. It looked like
Yeah.
one guy might have been 70. He looked pretty old. I didn't see his race, but and you for me. And here's the difference between sprinting and distance running, really, in this context, is for somebody warming up or doing some training, you see for distance, you see how fast they're going. Like that pace looks familiar
Sure.
in some capacity.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
I get
they're
that.
going. That's a quick pace. That's within a minute. I can probably guess that pace.
Yep. Right.
It's like, oh, that's like a 6 minute pace, 5 minute pace, something like that. With sprinting, it's hard to tell how fast people are and then how fast you look, right? Because
Yeah.
different body types look, how much ground you cover and how fast you're moving
And you're talking a difference
are
of a
not
half a second.
are not the same. And so I'm
Yeah.
watching these kids warm up, and I'm like, man, everybody is so fast when they're practicing. They're doing strides, they're doing their starts, and
Hmm.
and I don't feel slower than normal, but compared to what I'm seeing, like, man, I'm so slow.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like an old guy now. I don't feel like
Uh-huh.
an old guy running and my pace. I'm like, oh, yep, here it is. I'm old. I am slow compared to everybody. And like one guy, we're chatting, and I'm like, man, if you're in my heat, I just hope I'm on your outside so I can be fast for a little bit, before you pass me.
Uh-huh.
Also, I got new spikes because my old spikes officially crapped out 2 weeks ago. I've had to tape them together
Hmm.
when I go and use them. And I was taking the tape off 2 weeks ago, and the whole sole just came off.
Oh no.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I have to buy some new ones.
Yeah.
So I bought some actual like sprint spikes,
Oh,
and
nice.
I don't remember. So I'm like legit nervous going into it. So I get my heat, get my number, get my lane. I haven't done blocks in this year. Since last year, I haven't done any blocks at all. And I haven't done real blocks. I've only been able to use one side of the block. 'Cause
Okay.
the blocks I had were set up wrong for me.
That's right.
The
Yeah.
ones I had access to, and those ones are now garbage.
Uh-huh.
So first time in the blocks, and but I'm like, I don't know if you get this. When I get nervous, I gotta pee.
Sometimes I do. Yep.
Do you get that? Man, I always get that. But I know it enough that I'm like, just ignore it. You're like, you don't actually have to go pee. Like, it's fine.
And you're
Like,
only
there's
running
no time
for a couple
anyway.
seconds.
Right. And so I'm thinking, like, I've warmed up for an hour basically for a 25-second race, right? I put down, you have to put in what your most recent time was or whatever you guess. I'm like, I'll put 25. I honestly had no idea what I was going to get. And I'm in my heat with a ton of high schoolers, it felt like.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, I feel kind of like a dick for saying this, but I told the kid next to me, I'm like, on my inside, I'm like, hey man, just let me get like half the corner before you pass me, all right? Like, because that's because they're young kids, they all look fast. I saw them warming up, they're quick, they're just gonna smoke me.
Right.
I set up my blocks. and I was kind of like figuring out where I want my feet. I totally stumble on the first try. Like I'm like, oh no, this is such a bad omen. I'm like, it was like if I cared, I wasn't quite embarrassing. It felt kind of embarrassing. I'm like picking myself up and like roll back. I'm like, okay, let's try the blocks a little differently. Like adjust this.
So far, you stayed up though, so that's always good.
I barely stayed up. So I got him set, and I'm like, all right. Well, so now I don't care about how fast I'm starting. I care about more just don't fall
Right. Yep.
right off the bat.
Yep.
So we go gunfires. I feel like I had an okay start compared to everybody. It wasn't, it's a 200, so it's not as, as obvious who does terrible as like the 100 lineup because you have that stagger. So I did good. First corner was fine. Also, to preface though, I haven't been training the 200 at all. I've been using the 200 as like tempo cardio, right? So I'll do one every now and then at like 75%. But I haven't been like doing the endurance of a 200, which for sprinting it is a different thing.
Well, you have
right?
your
if you're going 100%.
Yeah, you've been working on your 100, and then you have endurance, but your endurance is like long distance endurance is what is the only endurance you can train. So you have long distance endurance, and you have short sprint, but you don't have this middle thing at all.
No, not at all. And so I get around the corner and I'm kind of like with everybody. I've made up a little bit of a stagger,
Mhm.
and I get to like 30 of the home stretch, and the kid on the inside of me, he's like trying to pass me.
Yeah.
And so keep on pulling away from him just a little bit. And then I hit the last like 40 meters. And for some reason, I couldn't see where the finish line was.
Okay.
Like I was getting delirious and like, I don't know. I was just like, I don't know where it's at. I'm trying to stay in front of these high schoolers behind me. I thought I had like 10 more meters when I crossed. And I'm like, oh, thank God I can stop now. I was I hit 30 meters left, and I had the exact feeling of when you're doing a 400 and your legs just aren't working anymore.
Right.
My back was arched like crazy. I couldn't get my knees in front of me. I thought I was gonna fall over. I'm like, just don't fall over.
Yeah, you don't want
fall.
that
My feet.
embarrassment.
No, my feet are not coming. Like legitimately, I don't think my knees were coming up at all.
Right.
And so I got through. I'm watching the clock, and it's like 23, 24, 25, and I have no idea where I was. Like
Right.
it's somewhere in that range. But I won my heat,
Nice.
which was surprising.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got 19th overall.
Uh-huh.
Tons of kids in that, so I got 24.9. So I beat my number by.
Yeah. So you were pretty accurate about what you thought you could do.
I was surprisingly accurate. Tons of kids in the 24 range, a couple in the 23. If I would have broken 24 and hit 23, I would have been like top 8
Nice.
for that meet. But it's really cool because everything's like you got bibs and you got trackers and
Yeah.
it's
All the real thing.
all the real thing. Yeah, it was really fun.
That's fun.
And so next week, if my schedule works, next week I have to go ahead again because I still have to do the 100 that I'm because that's what I'm ready for.
Right.
And that's where those are the numbers I actually want to improve upon.
And are you able to look
get.
up results from the previous one? Do you know any idea what people are running that 100 in?
Quite a few people in the 11s.
Okay.
A lot of people in the 12s. One person last week ran a 10.7.
Okay. That's pretty
So
darn quick.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to say. And I have these expectations of what I think I can do for the 100, but I don't know how wrong they are. I think, I mean, my goal, my actual goal is to at some point beat my high school time, which is 11.1. And if I can beat my high school time, that means I can go sub 11, which is ridiculous.
And if you can go sub 11, you can probably run a 10.4.
The exact, and then it's Olympic trials.
Why not?
But I don't know, for some reason the idea of like I feel like I can beat my high school time and the step away to then under 11 seconds is so minimal that it seems logical that I should be able to do that too. And then if you think under 11-second 100 at 39 years old, like that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it is though with these things when you are talking about a tenth of a second. A tenth of a second can often be done with, okay, well let's fix a bit of form here or there, right? Like that can be gone by dialing your start in better. It could be gone. It
Hmm.
could be done by, yeah, again, changing your form, changing where your lean is, or whatever. Like little things can fix 10th of a second.
Yeah. And I mean that is the thing is like for the 200 I was so nervous going into it, and even like until the gun went off I was super nervous. I have no idea what my form was like it was just like keep up and stay in front of these kids.
Yeah, you
Like
probably didn't
that was
even,
the only thing through my head, like I didn't contemplate what I was
with
doing.
the nerves and no practice, you probably didn't even feel like, do you even know if you were leaning your corner very well or anything like that, right?
But
Like,
no, my corner was good.
okay.
Yeah,
And you
because
and
I
you
because I
had
do
the wherewithal
corners.
to be able to think through, am I doing the right form here? Like, was your brain able to
Um,
comprehend any of that during it, or was it just too much?
and no, I was aware of. I wasn't aware of my start. My
Hmm.
start was just get out fast. I was aware of my corner just because the corner it takes a little bit of time, right? So there you have a good 10 seconds in the meat of the corner where you can actually feel. And the kid next to me was kind of the kid on my right, on my outside lane was he was hugging his lane a little bit. And so I know my lean was good because I was like having to lean away from him.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And I have a decent lean on corners
Uh-huh.
anyway. Like I just know that that's something I'm okay
I was
at.
thinking through anything that happens that quick. And since I'm totally not trained, I don't do anything that goes that quickly, so that you don't like know. Yeah, that for me, so many of those things, like I think afterwards, like I didn't even have time to think about these things
Right.
that I would normally be thinking
Yeah.
about, or that would be a
Yeah.
huge part of the strategy. And even if it's doing 5K, it tends to be like that. It's over too quick, and I didn't have time to even think about it.
Yeah.
Was I taking too short of steps the entire time? Did I forget to stride out at all? Those
Yeah.
things happen on
Ye-
those.
Yeah. And I think if I well, and I now that I did a 200, I have to do another one because I have to compare. But I think that, and actually, yeah, and I'll spend a few days in trying to get that speed endurance so that I can actually think about my form towards the end. Because that's usually where like you get around the corner and then you can dial in your form. And you can dial in like, okay, long legs, like big arms, stride with the knees hard and like all that kind of stuff. And I was just thinking, don't trip and
Right.
get my feet in front of me. Like it was everything to not fall on my face.
Yeah.
But
And those that are
yeah,
not
the
track people probably don't. All right, now we're back. What people that haven't done track probably don't know is that the most embarrassing thing you can do in track is to fall down because you have bleachers of
yeah.
people watching. There's
Hmm.
usually only a couple of you out there, right? So like what you're
Yeah.
racing 6, 8 people at the most,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
it. And you're the only one to fall down. And you're still on top of that, tracks hurt really bad. So when you
They
do
do.
fall down, not only could you might it's falling and staying in your lane is really hard. So you might
It
take out other
is.
people. They've got
Yeah.
spikes on the bottom of their feet, so that might
Yeah.
hurt. And even if you avoid all of that, you still usually get horrible road rash. Like I've had a nice tuck and roll at a finish line before at an all comers
Hmm.
meet, running a 200.
Yeah.
And because I thought I could go faster if I leaned more, and in the reality, that was all the speed I actually had. Leaning more didn't do anything. I just fell
Yeah.
over.
I remember that.
So I fell over, and it was a perfect tuck and roll, like
Yeah.
just rolled through it back up
Yeah.
to my feet, right? No problem at
Easy.
all. And I still lost so much skin on my back. Like
Yeah.
it just shredded my back, where I had like scabs on it for a couple weeks after that. So you have all of that. Like it actually hurts. It's actually pretty dangerous, and everyone's watching you because nothing else is happening besides these couple people right here, and you fall down. That's the most exciting thing to watch. So literally, it's not like, oh, it's
Yeah.
embarrassing because I think people are seeing. Nope, everyone is actually watching you,
Everyone saw.
and everyone's going, ooh.
Yep. And you did what is like you did what is arguably like the simplest thing. You just ran and then you just fell over running.
That's
Right?
it.
Like
I didn't trip. No one went
didn't
into my
trip.
lane. Nothing happened. I leaned farther. Well, if we all know that if you lean, you fall over. And I
Yep.
leaned and fell over.
I fell
That's it.
over.
Yeah. I was listening to you darn sprinters, and you darn sprinters are always like, oh, you just get that lean, and then your legs will keep you up. And if you're not a sprinter
Sometimes.
and you get that lean, your legs don't keep you up because there has to be acceleration involved, and I had no acceleration left. It was
Yeah.
already at as fast as it goes.
Sometimes that lane does not, yeah, that doesn't mean faster.
Not in my case, that's for sure. I found how the fastest I move, that's just it.
I've fallen a few times on the track. The most memorable though was everything you're talking about. You have the track, you have the spikes, you have the other people.
Yeah.
But mine was with a hurdle. So you have a hurdle
Yeah,
involved
add
too.
that into it. Jeez.
Where you
Yeah.
trip on a hurdle and then you're all tangled up and then you
Oh.
fall and roll and
Oh,
oh,
and the falls from a hurdle can
terrible.
be so awkward too. It's like falling on a
Yeah.
snowboard, right? Where it's like you're not, there's no, usually you do not get a nice clean tuck and roll. Yeah, a leg is tied up in that hurdle too. It could smack you all kinds of places. Yeah, it's
Well,
rough.
if you fall during a race, then you get back up and you keep running the race. If you fall during a hurdle race, you get up and then you have to like awkwardly jump over the next hurdle and then try to get momentum. Because like the whole thing is with hurdles that makes it easy-ish, is like you have your momentum and you're gliding across the hurdles, right?
And you have
And
you have a stride and a step that's all lined up. It's all timed.
exactly, it's all
And you lose
perfect,
that
right?
timing. Now you're just jumping straight up over these hurdles.
Yeah.
There's nothing pretty about it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're hoping, especially on the first one, you fall, you tumble, you get back up. Now you're hoping, can I jump over this next hurdle? Or am I going to trip on this hurdle too that I just fell over
Because
because I have no
yeah,
stride and no momentum?
and you're a little dizzy now because you also just fell. So you have no momentum, no speed, your timing's off, and you just fell. And right after we know it's from snowboarding a bunch. Right after fall, if you hop up right after falling and try and continue to do
Yeah.
something, it's not abnormal that you fall again immediately. You haven't gotten your
Yeah.
bearings, you haven't gotten your back, and you have any time. And you're also hoping maybe there's a chance I don't get last still. And so you
Right.
are thinking, still trying to do this as fast as you can. And so, yeah, again,
Yeah.
it's not abnormal you see someone then wreck again on the next one and the next one. Like I've seen videos of people just, they fall on like the third one and then they just wreck
Yeah.
all of them all the way through the end. Or the smart way to do it, just push them down and finish the race, just knock them over, keep going. But they are made to pop back up. So you got to look out for that too.
Sometimes they will pop back up. Yeah.
Sure
They,
will.
when I fell, luckily it was my coach was trying to get me to do yet another event that he thought I was gonna be good at. We tried the high jump. I was terrible at the high jump. We trained all preseason for hurdles. I was tall, and we're like, okay, let's get flexible. Back, I'm
There you go.
back.
Now
Good.
you're back. Yep, now you're.
I, I got technique down. Like I was solid on the hurdles, and I could three step and everything. And then the first race I had this fall, and I finished, and Kelly, our uncle and my coach, came up, and I could see him look on his face, like. Are you okay? Are you mad? Are you okay? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
How are you going to respond to this thing? And I was just laughing. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I have a 4x4, I have a 4x1, I have the pole vault, I have like all these things. I'm not hurdling. Like
Yeah.
it's such a waste of my time.
It's probably the other thing too that was probably a disadvantage for you is Kelly being a distance runner. So he probably does have a bias that like we can
Probably.
do tons of events. You're not going very far,
So
right?
that's the other interesting thing. Because like with all the sprint training I've been doing, running what I felt like was 100% on doing like last week I did 500-meter sprints. Not 100%, but like I was trying to go quick. Like it's routine that like I'm trying to push myself in the volume and the speed. My legs were dead. So much
Yeah,
lactic acid. I was like, I went back to my bag and I was sitting there and I'm like, I can't run right now. Like
yeah,
I'm done. I pushed them as hard as they would go. And I was walking out of the stadium. I was talking to a guy that I know, and even then, like he's talking to me about the 400. I'm like, dude, my legs aren't gonna move. Like
yeah.
I can't. They are from one race. I did one 200, and my legs are shot.
You ran
Like
for less than 25 seconds. That's all that
and
happened.
and that's where the age comes in, right? So like I feel quick. I mean my some of my ankles are kind of doing something dumb, but like I don't feel necessarily all that old at the moment, right? Except for that. I ran a 200 and I'm done.
Uh-huh.
That's it. All right, I'm down for the count because I did one
Yeah.
race. I felt
That's
more
awesome.
more fatigued in my legs from that 200 than I did Bloomsday.
Yeah.
Like Bloomsday, I would like, oh yeah, let's go sprint now, or let's go do something else.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I'm tired, but I'm fine. This one, I'm like, give me an hour or two, and maybe I could do something else. Like
Right.
it's
Jog
just
or something.
just shot. Yeah, actually, I should have cooled down. I should have went for a jog afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, I'm just seeing we have yeah, we have our all comers meets are happening right now actually. And so there's two left both on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to have to jump in and do it. So Ours, I think the 1500. That's irritating to do a 15, not a 16. The 1500,
Yeah.
I think, is our longest distance that we have.
Really? You don't do a 5K?
Nope, no, there's no 5K, there's no 1600. Yeah.
We do at the one over here. I mean, there's a ton of people, and it's a real big event actually.
Hmm.
There's a 15, a mile, 5,000,
Okay.
all in that are happen pretty consistently, I think.
I think the 15 anymore, I like in the 15 was not a thing when I was in high school. It was always 16. And then
Yeah.
there'd be some invitationals you'd go to that there might have a 15, but it was not a very normal thing.
Hmm.
But I do think it's way more common now to do
Yeah.
a 15 and a mile. Because I wouldn't even know, I have no clue what a 1500 time would be at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that
I
it's
could
super
probably run a
common.
530, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I could
They
probably run a
don't
530.
they don't do the 16s at all anymore. Like
Does high
college.
school not even race them anymore?
I don't know about high schools, but I know like college doesn't. They just do
Yeah.
15.
That's interesting. Yeah, because then I don't know what to relate to because that was so much money. Like that was mine
Yeah.
was the 16 and the 32
Yeah.
were my races. Man, do I do an 800 and just like die?
Man, yeah.
This will be fun. I'll bet Bennett will want to jump in and do something too.
You should. Yeah. Yeah.
We
You
could
got to do
do
it.
we could almost do a family relay, but I don't think Natalie would want to run 100 meters by herself without someone there with her.
It's a long ways. It's a long ways
Yeah,
at her age.
yeah, it is a long ways by yourself, people watching you and all that
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
But I could put together a relay team though.
You could. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
maybe I get some of my other running friends and we could do a 4x4.
I was looking at coming over there to do one of the all comers meets, but
Yeah,
Wednesdays are a hard day for me to go over there.
yeah, for sure. Right in the middle of the week like that.
But yeah, I was also talking to some of the pole vault guys. There's like an older guy who's just started coaching somewhere, so he was vaulting, and I'm like, and, I always get weird about because I don't really know the vault community over here at all, and like borrowing poles is like usually fine, but also
Hmm.
I don't know anybody, so it's like
Right.
it's a little. I feel weird going and like asking if I can just borrow poles. So I was talking to him. He's like, and because he just jumped in college, he was asking about me. I'm like, oh, I jumped in college too, and he's like, oh, they'll let you borrow poles. He's like,
Nice.
at first he was thinking that like I was just coming to like one to like, oh, I want to try that. So now he's like, well, you should, maybe do a
Yeah.
club or go somewhere. I'm like, well, no, I used to jump a lot. He's like, oh, they'll let you borrow poles. Now I'm like, okay, well, should I go and try to actually, you know,
Yeah.
clear a bar, see what happens?
Well, if you came over here to do it, I'll bet because you'd probably know people at this one.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
I
most
mean,
likely.
I wonder who is left doing that stuff over there.
Yeah. On ours, it just says you have to be high school age or above.
Yeah, yeah. You guys are that's a short summer season if it's almost done.
It's just 4 weeks. Yeah. So
Okay,
it's
gotcha,
just June and that's it. And
gotcha.
so, but yeah, I'll bet Payson wouldn't mind getting in on throwing a shot put just for fun too, and like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool. I don't know any people running it, but yeah. Oh man, I want to do that now. I'm gonna talk to my crew and see if we can put
do
together a
a
four.
do a four
I
by four.
I think put together a 4x4. That's at the end of the time, of course, as it always
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And then do I run a 1500 or an 800? I mean,
Both.
really should do both, right?
Yeah, of course. I think
Yeah,
you have to do both.
I think you have to do both. In the
Eight
same,
hundred is
yeah,
just
I'll do.
it's just a warm up.
I mean, if you're not doing 3 events, are you doing anything good for your team? You know, you got to do 3 events.
There's no point if you're not doing three events. Yeah, like why are
No,
you
like
running?
you're not helping anybody.
You're not important in any way. You won your event. Who cares? You
Yeah,
just won.
that's just a couple points. Come on, like that's if you can get
Man,
second in 3 events, that'd be way better.
exactly. Yeah, or third
Is
and
it? I don't
fourth.
know. I
I
have
don't know.
never learned how. I don't know what points you get for anything.
That's the hard part. I think as solo athletes and disciplines like track is they try to make it a team sport, and it
Right.
is in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. But at the
And you're
same
cheering on your
time, like,
friends so your team
of
can win or
course,
whatever.
there
But
there's a community about it and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like I'm not thinking about my points I'm getting for my team. I'm
no,
just like, yeah,
you're just trying to win. That's it.
trying to win my thing. That's all. Or if I'm in a relay, I'm trying to. The four of us are trying to win our thing. But like, I've never known what the point
And And I'd never
60
hold
minutes.
back in one thing so that I get like second or third to then get more points for the team so I can do better my next. No,
No.
all the events are as hard as you possibly. Actually, yeah, I'd pick the event
Yeah.
that I think I can do best in. That's where my max effort's going. And the other ones, I'm going to go as good as I can also.
Yeah. It's
That's it.
100% everywhere.
Yep. Okay, it looks like ours also alternates just like yours. So our 100
Okay.
and 200 alternate.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm not doing either one of those. I fall down around 200 apparently, so I'm not doing that. And a 100, I don't even get going until I'm way past the 100. So,
Yeah. Yes, you got to do the 15 and the 8 and then a 4x4.
the all in one meet.
That's so much. Well, you got to pack it in. You only have 2 weeks left.
I only have 2 weeks. Well, I should probably do all three both weeks
Yes,
so that I can see what improvement I get or whatever.
absolutely. That's
Well,
what
the reality is, my 800 is not going to be fast. My 15 might be okay.
It could be all right. You could get 5. I mean, you're taking 100 meters off a mile, so you could get like 520 maybe.
I 5 flats possible for 15.
There you go. See?
Because I ran a 540 mile yesterday,
Oh, nice.
and it was pretty okay. And
Okay.
so I
Wow.
know that's there, and I know a 6 minute mile is pretty comfortable for me right now for just one.
Yeah.
That's not terribly difficult at all. And so if I can run a 6 minute mile pretty comfortably, it means I can run a 530. No, not a 530. Probably a 540, 1500 pretty easily. Would probably be a similar effort.
What'd you
Yeah,
do a mile in?
540.
Yeah,
I know. Sorry.
a mile's over 1,600 meters.
Oh, it's 1600. Or whatever. Whatever the treadmill says. I don't know what it's doing. I was on a treadmill, so
Because the mile is like 1,630 whatever, something
they
like
say
that.
those things. 1600's a mile. That's just what it is.
Right. So if you run a
That's how it works.
1,500, you can knock a few seconds off that.
At least, I mean, at a minimum, 15 seconds,
Yeah,
but probably
for
more.
sure.
Yeah. So if I can run a 540, then I can definitely go under 530, and that was not max effort, which means with max effort, I think I could be near 5 flat.
Okay. Yeah, I mean okay, so here's the problem. You talking about these times brings up a bigger issue. If we are going to schedule, which we haven't talked about it, the second potential annual Tracy Walters
Hmm.
mile invite, I gotta start training for that mile because I don't know. Because
How
man,
fast did we run that mile?
I ran it in 5:45 or 5:50, somewhere in there.
That's right. And you got me by a couple seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
barely a couple seconds.
Yeah.
But if you're talking that you just did without going 100%, you just did a 5:40 mile.
I ran a 540 yesterday.
I don't know. I don't know that I could break 6 minutes at the moment. So I gotta pump it up.
I have not been running a lot, but I have been adding speed into all of my runs every time. And so I've been maintaining that much. My endurance I don't think is great at the moment. Just man, it got hot over here, like really hot.
It did over here too.
And that really changed like what I can like all of a sudden, and then trying to fit it in my day and stuff. And Benji's work's been, I mean, in such a good way, but work's gotten busy. And
Sounds
so
like it. Yeah.
yeah, it's been excellent. But yeah, all of a sudden, like it's just a ton. So yeah, just trying to juggle all of those things and getting used to like this schedule versus like in my winter, I had like this is my normal schedule. I go to the gym here, I run here, I do this, and it was all just like right now, man, I cannot keep a steady schedule to save my life.
Yeah, I did. We'll chat later.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
Bye.